can't even get hired in porn.
Like Dahlia and have mommy issues at the same time.
You can't be Dahlia and have mommy issues? Where the fuck is my pen? Did I not bring anything today? I am your psychoanalyst. I'm even wearing glasses. Hi, Lassie. Really?
Ice cream or
Just take a bite out of your cutie doll. Okay, well that's the first point is your psychoanalyst. Oral fixation. Dahlia. Well, hello, Dahlia. I say in my therapist. Okay. Hello, Dahlia.
Do you want me to lie on that couch and stare at the ceiling?
You know, I'm a very traditional partisan of psychoanalysis.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Dahlia, it's wonderful to talk to you again. I'm so glad that you have emerged. It
Yeah.
was like a year ago.
It was.
Can you believe that? So it's been quite a while since anyone's heard from you, and you know, things were going so well for you. Why don't you update us as to your life? When we had the interview on my now defunct sex show.
Right. We discussed my history as an internet sex star,
Which
as
I'm
I recall.
still jealous and still failed
Which
to get
is-
any traction there.
It's
Can you
still-
believe a year later?
A year later.
I
So
can't even get hired in porn.
I now have 17,000
Stop it.
followers.
Stop it.
Daily messages.
Disgusting.
Praising my body, my talent, my boyfriend's body, his talent. We are now known on Tumblr as sex stars. So when people, you know, ask random people, what are your favorite sex blogs? We usually like come up.
Well-
Especially in the couples blog community. Yes.
Good for you.
Right.
And about the state of your coupling, how's that going?
So I am leaving the region in the next month.
Are you?
So we say.
Is there a timetable for withdrawal?
Right. That's good. So is that what they called it? Is that what Bush called it when he
Yes.
said you were leaving Iraq? Yeah. So that's about what it is.
Okay.
And
Which is,
it might be one of those.
it's always on the
situations
horizon.
where we leave a couple troops there and
Okay.
we keep going back to it. But
I get what you're saying.
we still have a presence in Iraq.
When you still have a presence in the internet, and you will always live
Exactly.
there. It'll
So-
be eternal.
It's one of those things like this could totally torch all future relationships for me. That's
Oh, I didn't even
totally
think about
realistic.
that.
Yeah,
Because I would never date somebody who's not like totally already a porn star or something.
of course.
Or a prostitute.
But I
or
mean, think
something.
about the typical white male,
I don't wanna think
white
about it.
strong mindset.
That's depressing.
In which they are jealous of things that they
know.
want to possess everything. Not, I mean, it's not just sex. It's kind of goes beyond that. They just sort of feel an ownership over you. I think that's very common. So imagine
Yeah.
you're an angry white male bro, and your girlfriend has a past that is not only, you know, existed in her mind, but existent all over the
Oh
internet.
my god, I can't.
And you will constantly be comparing yourself to someone who you really can't compare to sexually.
Well, now you look really sad.
Most-
We all have pity on you.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's not what we're here to talk about.
Okay.
Look, I just asked you a question.
You don't
went
know what
on
we're here
and
to
on
talk
and on.
about.
So anyways, what I would like you to do, Dahlia, is put down your wine glass. I know, I'm sorry.
All right. Are you going to hypnotize me?
Hypnotism, okay?
Okay.
Put your feet flat on the floor, please.
Really?
Yes.
Can I hold a dog?
No.
Really?
I'm sorry, no security blankets.
Okay, but I want him.
No. Well, see, resistances are already coming to the fore.
It's touching a dog.
I'll give you that for
Okay.
this session. Okay, and I want you to just close your eyes.
Okay.
Put your hands exactly like they are. That's great.
All right, perfect.
I would like you to... Was that a laugh?
Yes.
This isn't funny, okay?
Okay. This would be all my therapy sessions. Just
Yes.
trying to-
Just laughing. Can I grab a dog? Let's
Okay.
recompose.
All right.
Okay. And you just are ever so... Oh my god. You know, everyone has been able to do this except
Really?
you. Yes! Okay. Stop laughing.
Okay. All right. I'm composed.
Your defense mechanisms are not amusing to me,
Seriously.
okay? And I can see right through them. So anyways, I would just like you to be there, breathing in and out. Go back and reach deep into your emotional and visual memory. And think of a certain time in your life. It can be good or bad, happy or sad. Something that you will never forget. That when you think of this moment, it's still so live in your mind, and when you think of it, it takes you right back to there. It is a very sensory memory. When that memory comes to you, explain it. Tell me where you are.
Okay, it's like pretty personal, but I can do it.
What really came up into your mind?
So this was sometime around almost exactly 1 year ago, when it's just like, it's a normal evening. We went out. I'm in a polyamorous open relationship in which I've only had one partner for the last 2 years, but he is long time married. And then when I met him, he had one young child. And it worked fairly well for a while, I think, because I'm kind of a more independent person. So it was nice to have all the relationship stuff and also have my own space. And they kind of made me feel like I was a part of their family, which was nice too, because, I don't really have a great family to work with in the first place. So it's sort of like in my last relationship, I think I stuck around a lot longer than I should have because I liked the family aspect too. Because I sort of like glommed onto his mom and sort of living at their house.
Yeah.
So I'm attracted to that. And it was almost the same thing here because I was always in his house. And yeah, so I didn't have a bad relationship with his wife or anything, but things were just starting to get like maybe a little bit tense because I felt like I wanted to have more control in the relationship. I didn't really have that much power, and I wanted to feel like I really wanted to feel like I was equal to her. We've been seeing each other for a year, but it was like really, really intense. We both thought that, and I had this expectation that if I just pushed hard enough, then I could be like equals, which was, in retrospect, incredibly naive, because as you know, just the institution of marriage itself has so much power over the people in it, over other people, over
Even
their
when they
opinions.
don't want to be married.
Exactly. So it was right at that time when I was probably in the middle of like basically lovesick schoolgirl plus wanting to have more independence in my relationship, etc. I was seeing him like twice a week, and I thought that could be more. I mean, they'd even thrown around ideas of us all living together someday, being that kind of like futuristic polyamorous sort of situation. So it was all mostly positive. There was very little drama, and I really thought this could be like a forever sort of thing. And so one night he comes over, we go out to dinner, we went to like a trivia night, and it was super fun. He didn't seem weird at all, and we got a little bit drunk, and he was like holding my shoulders right there in front of the refrigerator, and he's like, I have to tell you something. I said, what? And he goes, she's pregnant. So that was pretty much just like my heart dropped out of my chest because it just pretty much instantly changed everything that I thought was going on in the situation. And then like 15 seconds later, he broke me again when he implied that it was planned. So it's one thing to have an accidental or sort of like it just happened pregnancy even though they're married. I could have dealt with that. He was like, oh, we just started trying. And with those words, I was like, wait, what? And then all of a sudden it was just this like evening of hell, basically, because it was a combination of guilt for not being like, oh, congratulations, and also like, what the fuck did you even just tell me? And then what made it worse was that same night, he also said to me, he was like, I love you, and maybe more, is what he said, implying what it sounds like. And I mean, that made me feel good because I was just so broken and insecure at that point that was what I needed to hear, that he loves me more. In retrospect, I should have just been like, get the fuck out of here, obviously. But, my feelings for him were so intense, and it was just so desperate how much I wanted to keep him that I would pretty much do anything at that point, even though this was basically like a core betrayal, is what it felt like. Of just like, you decided to do this huge, huge thing, which is grow your family with someone, and I was not involved at all. Never like sit me down and be like, this is, we've always planned for a second child, like we think this is the right time. It would still suck, but that would be so much different than we tried and this happened. And he was like, well, we didn't expect it at all. And what he meant was they didn't expect it to happen like instantly, which it did. I mean, last time it took them like a year of trying, and this time it was like basically once. And I'm like, I don't know if that makes it better or worse, because what's the alternative scenario? That you try for a year and don't tell me. It's always been there. It's always been just like, you're the guy that did that. Seriously. I mean, after that, I pretty much just went crazy a little bit. Like, you saw me sort of at the peak of that time.
Yeah.
Where I was coming up with crazy ideas like, oh, I'll get pregnant and go fight away. I think you mentioned it. You're like, just don't do anything crazy, like have a
Oh, I was, oh God.
Yeah, you're like, don't do anything crazy, like have a revenge baby.
But you were thinking about it.
We had talked about it, because like it came up in this discussion.
You and he had talked about it.
So like maybe 6 months before this happened, you know, we discussed, like he talked with his mom about the fact that we could have children someday. I'm desperately grasping at straws, trying to find a way for this to like work long term, even though I've just been crushed. It got to the point where drama escalated between me and his wife too, and that's when it just got really shitty, because then we're just like catfighting with each other. There was a time when I still kind of could one-up her a little bit, because he still did, or thought he did, have stronger feelings for me than her. So there was one time I'm at work, and strangely enough, they primarily have big conversations, like over email, which is weird. So I saw like bits and pieces of this.
That's interesting.
So he had this one day where he's like, okay, I have to write her this email, like explaining how things are. And he pretty much emailed her saying that if she wasn't okay with him continuing with me, they would have to have like a serious conversation. which, and he's like, I'm kind of freaking out right now, because I'm a man who just told his pregnant wife that I have to keep you around or I will leave her. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I mean, at the time I was just kind of like, yes, which is horrible. It's a horrible thing to even think, but that's where I was mentally. I was a mess. And it went from that, me being like, okay, I'm still like, he still loves me more, it's fine, to her. The next incident was I wanted to change my cell phone provider so I could get my cell phone plan away from my crazy mother. I'm at the cell phone store. I give them his phone number and say, like, I'm going to be added to their account just for the purposes of saving money. Sprint has a thing where you can be like non-family, barely even know each other, and all be on one plan. So I'm like, okay, this is awesome. So I'm in the store, I give them the phone number. I'm like, yes, I'm just going to be added as a line to this account. They're like, okay, we need consent from the person who manages the account. So I call him, and he's like, yeah, so she's like, this is not gonna work. She's like upset, and she says it's not okay. And he said that she had panicked because for some reason she thought my mom was so crazy that she would try to get their daughter taken away by CPS because of their lifestyle. All right, whatever. So I just got my own plan and walked out. And then after that, she sent me an email saying, basically, no hard feelings, but for your sake, for our sake, I think it would be better if, like, you dated other people, is pretty much what she said to me. I mean, he should be the one telling me that. And I responded, like pretty much the peak of my cattiness. I was like, yeah, sorry, so I kind of see myself with him for the long term. I'm not going to do that. So she's pregnant, she's emailing me, back the fuck off, pretty much, and I'm like, yeah, no. And then her response was just like an explosion. She's like, I've been with him since I was 13 years old.
Well, she's been with him since he was fat.
She's like, we're married, we have a house together, we have a kid together, and another one on the way. She's like, you're never gonna have this with him. That's pretty much exactly what she said. John was here when I got that email from her. So that was just like, this was in my peak emotional state too. And I just, had like a mental breakdown, lying on the floor sobbing. He was just like, I mean, there's nothing I can do. You guys are just going to be like bickering at each other. These bitches are barking at each other. He's just like, I mean, there's nothing I can do. You're just going to keep fighting back. I'm like, but you do understand, like, she has all the power in the situation. Like, if you're not there for me, then I'm just like completely. And he pretty much comes back to me and says, like, this is what I have to offer. It's never going to be more than this. I cannot promise you anything, so you can pretty much take it or leave it. And that's what it's been like for the last year. So after that, I lost all control. So that's what it's been like, and I've stuck around because he still provides me with companionship and obviously sexual gratification throughout the pregnancy and through all that drama. I've just been like gradually disconnecting as much as I can. I mean, obviously not anywhere close to being completely disconnected, but trying to lessen the intensity of my feelings. This could have been a very, very good relationship. The one thing it's taught me is that I need more. I probably need monogamy. I get very attached, and I like the idea of having like one person and sort of building a life together, and that was just never gonna happen with him, obviously. Not saying that I regret any of it. I don't think I would change my decisions.
So when you were back in that moment,
Yeah.
and he was putting his hands on your shoulders over there, right in that other room, and when he said this to you, that she's pregnant, if you could describe that feeling in a word, what would you say?
It's like when you go over a hill on a road.
That's more than one word.
What's that called? Vertigo? Yeah,
Okay.
vertigo.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think it's vertigo.
Very disorienting.
Yeah.
And
Of just like the floor dropping out underneath you. And then gradually as the other part of that revelation came out, which is it was planned. I mean, just thinking we were equal, that in itself is naive. Yeah, I thought, of course he loves me more than he loves her. Like, you know, they've been together too long. He can't possibly still care about her in that way. Obviously he cares about her a lot, and I guess he does love her. I mean, lack of experiences, I think that's been my problem. And like, I've only had one other long-term relationship, and I think I just...
And it wasn't the best model.
Yeah, I think I just have a habit of letting myself get mistreated for the sake of just someone's attention. You know,
Yeah, you and every other girl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I wanted to sacrifice anything to stay with him. I mean, there were times I just babbled about, I don't need any of those things. I don't have to have kids with you. I don't have to like be with you. I just want to find some way that we can make this work. If that means like I move in a house right next to you guys and I still give you space, and it's just such silly babble now. Like there's no way that was ever going to work. And he told me that. He's like, you're saying that, but I don't think you really understand. So I mean, like I'm not a stupid person, but it's just like you get so wrapped up in the hormones and the drama and what you're feeling that it will make a very smart person very stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
Not by experience, but
No.
seeing in other people.
Yeah, I don't think it was malicious or intentional at all. I think he got sucked in too. And
So
I think
he
that's
may
what
have
a lot of it
believed
was.
them at the
No,
time.
he absolutely did.
Okay.
I don't think he lied at all.
Did he give you a reason why you were not consulted?
No, it wasn't. It just didn't. It didn't even cross his mind.
At all.
How could you possibly not think about it?
But that is an extreme amount of negligence.
Yeah, it is. It forever changed how my interpretation of what he thought about me. The first conversation both of them had about it was just like, oh, we have to tell Dahlia, she's gonna lose it. Like that's when they thought about me.
That's the first time they thought about you.
I think so. When they were like, oh shit, there's other people involved. And it wasn't just me, of course she has a partner as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and that kind of made it worse because when she told him, he was just like the typical, oh, congratulations, and then offered to buy all this stuff for the baby. And I'm like,
Which makes you look more like demanding.
Like a total demented, crazy woman. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, that's nice. I guess that's how I'm supposed to react, right? Just like, oh, good for you. But he's always been more distant, her partner. He's always been like, he's married himself. He started in polyamory. Like, I'm so not programmed to be second. So not. I know that now. I just
You want to come first, like Lindsay Lohan.
I need so much attention. I need to come first. I need control. That's really what it is. I don't like someone else making decisions for me that I'm not in a relationship with.
And basically, the wife
That's
was
what
making
this
the
was.
decision.
Absolutely. Every time I wanted to do something, it was a process of approval. And that was one thing that really bothered me. Like, I want to, do something, and he would have to literally ask permission every time.
Why do you think that he cedes control of his relationship to his wife?
Because it's just to keeping the peace. He just wants to keep everyone happy, primarily her. I don't think because he cares about her more, or he does now probably, but...
And so he had a conversation where he intimated that he loved you more than his wife.
With me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, at the time, I was like, that's good. That's good news. That's what I want to hear.
And you think that he believed everything he said then?
Yeah. And he reaffirmed it several times.
So why did it seem like his actions were not lining up with that?
I think because the keeping the peace thing was more important than his feelings. I asked at some point, like, I think I asked if he cared about her more than me, or I asked if she's more important. And he's like, I can't answer that the way that you want. And he's like, this isn't a competition. Like, what can you do to make you like equal with her? It's not going to happen.
And you had really been conceiving of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like, what are the things that she has that makes her more important than me to you?
And so, well, now it makes sense why you wanted
to give him those things.
Well, it makes sense in that context why you wanted Revenge Baby.
I didn't want a revenge baby. I wanted him to want a revenge baby.
Totally different.
Yeah.
What prevented you from really, like you said, saying get the fuck out when you heard that?
I think just like total insecurity of just being like, I understood that I had been wronged, but I guess I thought there was something fundamentally wrong with me too.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, I was so flawed and I loved him so much.
And that is what made him.
Not that what made him do it, but that what made me like not deserving of something better.
Why were you willing to settle for something like that?
Why does anyone settle? I don't know.
I think you do now.
I don't. I mean, at the time when I was so caught up in it, I guess it did feel like settling, but I thought we were still so good together that
Mm-hmm.
it didn't matter. And then since then, it's just kind of gradually faded out. Like I've gradually felt like I'm less and less important.
Not everyone, while many people would have done exactly what you did, not everyone would have stood for that.
Yeah.
Why do you think that you did?
I don't know. I was definitely heartbroken,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't leave. I just couldn't. I don't know. I have daddy issues.
Talk more about that.
Talk more about my daddy issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a long story.
We've got time.
We do.
Well, why don't we talk about specifically the daddy that you were in a relationship with? You know, John is older,
Mm-hmm.
so he is in his 40s?
No, he's 9 years older than I am.
I can't do math.
9.5, so almost a decade. He's 34.
Oh, he's 34. I don't know why I thought he was like 40.
No.
Oh, so I'm constantly exaggerating how old he is.
You are.
then. So he's not really he's a dad, but he is a dad.
But he's not, he's
not a daddy.
Salt and pepper hair, but...
But yeah, talk about your daddy issues. Where does that come from? Where's your daddy?
So my dad lives in a foreign country that I learned when I was a young child, that is literally as far away on the planet as you can get from here. And he's lived there since I was 3. So I understood by the time I was 5 that my father, I had like a globe. Looking at a globe, I'm here, and he's literally the opposite side of the planet. So he left my mom when I was 3, so 1993. My mom and my brother and me. My brother had just been diagnosed with autism the year before.
How old was he?
He was 6.5.
Okay. Is that normally when it's diagnosed?
Well, it was within a few years. So he
Mhm.
was diagnosed when he was 4, I think. And they lived in a big house that they had designed and built in the western county that I live in.
It's where I live.
Okay, where you live.
Whiteville.
Right. This was the very early ages of the internet. So his story was that he had met a woman online and fallen in love with her. So online means like a really, really old school chat room.
Oh my God.
Fallen in love with her. And part of it is that my mom is impossible to live with, which anyone who has ever tried knows. She now lives alone.
Mm-hmm.
The only beings she's ever been able to live with, or ever has lived with, are ones that literally cannot escape.
Well, and even those animals become ill when they're living with her.
I'm not saying that excuses any of my dad's behavior. If it had been just her, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You really can't stand your wife. You
Mm-hmm.
can leave pretty much any time.
Mm-hmm.
Just, get a divorce. You shouldn't have gotten married in the first place.
Yes.
But if you have children, you've made that decision.
Correct.
And you cannot just decide to not
Well, it
have
would be
children
abandonment
anymore.
to
exactly,
just...
which is what it was. He could have gotten a job nearby and just been able to see his kids, had some kind of custody. But their custody battle was as far as him just saying, I don't want them. He didn't want any visitation, just visitation at her discretion. So if he was ever in the area, he's allowed to say, can I see them? And it's totally her discretion.
So she had the control.
She has complete full custody. So that's my history. And he goes to Australia. I remember my mom telling me, like, oh, your dad got married. And I was like, okay. I mean, my brother is sort of like, he can communicate, like, he can express his needs, but he can't function independently. And even when he was a child, I think my dad is high-functioning autism as well, which complicates the situation.
That's interesting.
He's very, very intelligent, but poor social skills, poor understanding of other people's feelings, which, makes the whole thing sort of explainable at least, but it's still not an excuse. He always kind of felt like my brother was... Ronaldo was kind of a failure as just a child, because he...
Really?
Because he's only ever viewed me in terms of my, like, academic success.
I know that, yeah.
Yeah, so the fact that Ronaldo could never have academic success, could never really have any kind of accomplishments in his eyes, is why he just sort of, he was like, oh, he doesn't care if he sees me. And it was sort of like, I had to spend, like, my whole childhood and early adulthood now explaining to him, like, I mean, he does care. He talks about you all the time. He does love you. You're an important figure in his life. And he's not just... Even though he's not having a normal conversation with you, doesn't mean he's not there.
Was your dad ever diagnosed with autism?
No. It's kind of like a family assumption.
Okay.
Like, even his wife will tell him that to his face. His wife basically is now sort of like his personal aide, because she has to sort of be that side of him. I think I remember my mom telling me he was leaving.
Really?
I think. But it could be one of those things, like, you just, like,
yeah, exactly. Like a video memory.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think I have a few of those. But even if the memory's illusory, what do you remember there?
Of just her saying, I think she said, Daddy's going away. And
so he didn't tell you himself?
I was so little. I think I was 3. No, he didn't tell me himself. I don't even think he was there when she told me. I don't know if I think for a few months, I think he stayed in a hotel nearby. So before he, like, legit got his stuff together and left the country, he was staying just somewhere nearby in an apartment or something. She was just like, Daddy's leaving. And I was just like, where? Is he coming back? And it was just like, she sort of tried to explain to a 3-year-old that their father's not coming home. And she was a stay-at-home mom at the time, and he was working a lot, so I didn't see him.
Well, that must have made you feel pretty abandoned and just kind of, like, worthless for him to just
like,
go
literally
across.
Abandoned.
Yeah, literally,
and not just, like, leaving and not living with us, but living as far away as he could possibly go. Either he or my stepmom was just like, do you still have, like, bad feelings about that? Like, is there anything still there? And I think I just lied. I wasn't going to be like...
She asked you that?
I think so.
That sounds like she was... Well, this is just my conjecture, but...
Yeah.
Number 1, that's totally inappropriate.
Yeah.
Number 2, I feel like she's just asking to soothe her own conscience.
Exactly, because she's a mom, too.
But what are you going to say? No?
And the thing is, the father of her kids was out of the picture, too. He just vanished. He disappeared.
Out of the country, too? Or?
I don't know the whole story. I know he was, like, never... I'm pretty sure... I mean, she had 2 kids, so we showed up twice, at some point. But... he had no role at all. So she was abandoned as well. And I've always been sort of curious, like, what was running through her mind when she ended up with this man who abandoned his family?
You have to wonder.
I mean, I really respect her in most ways. She's a very smart person. She has this sort of understanding. She's an extrovert, and she sort of just understands people in a way that has never clicked with me, but I find it sort of fascinating. She's a journalist. When I was younger, like when I was a teenager, I definitely looked up to my dad a lot. I had a lot less resentment for him. I wanted to impress him. So every time I got an A on a chemistry test or something, and his approval basically, and the only way I could get it is by being smart. So
have you given that up, trying to get his approval?
I mean, yes and no, because once I got into grad school, of course he was like one of the first people I told, because it's just like, because status is like all that matters to him. And then he sent me this email after I got in that was just so unbelievably self-centered. He was just like, I can't wait to tell all of my friends and associates. He literally said that. And then he wrote out like all of the next years of my life. He's like, this is the email I'm going to send out to like very close associates and family members. Please proofread and make sure it's okay. And he's like, okay, Dahlia's first year, she'll be studying this, and she's going to be working so hard, blah, blah, blah. And then her second year, she's going to be working on this type of project. I know what my accomplishments are. I know I did everything myself,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is actually pretty empowering.
Absolutely.
I couldn't rely on anyone in my family
Yeah.
to help me with anything. That's where I am now. It's superficial. My whole relationship with everyone in my family is superficial.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, we're faking it all the time.
The whole custody thing and kind of the dynamic of your father and your mother's relationship where she not only had the control, but he ceded all of the control to her.
Yeah.
Who else does that sound like?
I mean, I don't know. But, I see it. I mean, I don't know. But that's not really... I mean,
Well,
but
yeah.
it's different, though, because it's not in the way... I mean, he does let her have the control, but they also, like, it's not really quite comparable. I mean, I don't know. He said the thing with my father actually is one of the factors. When we were talking one day, he said... When I asked him, like, if he didn't love her as much, why wouldn't he just leave? I'm like, it's not that weird nowadays. People break up all the time.
Yeah.
And if you're with someone that you don't love, and he was just like, well, I didn't say there was no love. I said it was different. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let that one go. And he said, it was what you said about your dad.
Yeah.
He said he couldn't imagine leaving Griselda, and he couldn't imagine doing to her what my dad did to me. And it just got me to thinking, I could never be that person. So that's literally why he said he was staying.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's so interesting because he would invoke the name of your father.
Exactly.
But at the same time, he was in the process of emotionally abandoning you.
It's true. I mean, I think it taught me a lot because I've totally switched gears from when I said I don't need those things. I just want you to. I mean, I care about you a lot, but I totally need those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You learn more about yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, it taught me pretty much exactly what I'm looking for. Like, I've never been the type of person to, like, sleep around a lot. I've never really had casual relationships at all. Like, a couple of times, and I got pretty much nothing out of them. And I'm okay with the fact that doing something long-term and making a family with someone doesn't have to mean forever. And if it doesn't mean forever, it's not a tragedy. Like, people fall apart. It happens. You change, you grow up.
There you go.
You end up needing different things. And it's not like, oh my God, the world is ending if you have to get divorced if you were stupid enough to get married in the first place. And if I do get married, it's just going to be like, we're doing this for tax reasons and to make it less confusing for the children. But it's not going to be like we're having a big wedding because we love each other.
Oh
no.
my God, I can't imagine you in a wedding dress. What?
Oh my God.
Wow,
Yeah.
Weird image.
Yeah.
I want you to get the poofiest, most layer cake dress
I think
ever.
90% chance if I get married, it's going to be like we don't even do like the court. We don't even do a ceremony at the courthouse.
You
we
need
just
to
mail in the
dress
papers.
like Marie Antoinette.
With those pictures that you showed me from like the 1840s, the
Yes.
cake. Like
The cake.
My dress will be so tiered and so cake-like that it needs a metal structure, like a Barbie.
I want ribbons all over the. I want ribbons in your hair. I want like hair piece that is just voluminous.
Obsessed for weeks about the flower colors. Can you imagine me choosing flower colors? Let's select the tablecloth texture.
But you know what? It's so funny because I feel like when you get to that point, you will be doing all of this with glee.
Oh my God.
You totally will.
So you have to stop me if that happens.
But you've told me to stop you before. I can't stop you. Oh, wow. Well, now I'm actually excited for this because I cannot wait to see you dressed like a buffoon or a doll.
Who would I even invite? I can't even invite people to like a house party. I hate everyone in my family. That would be horrifying because I would feel like obligated to invite both parents and like both sides of the family. First of all, both sides of my family are related. When we had a family reunion, everybody went. My mom and dad are second cousins. And the way I found this out like 3 years ago, my mom made me go to a family reunion. Before that, she'd always said, we share 2 of 8 great-grandparents. And I never thought about what that meant. Yep.
Well, that's unique. Well, this is pretty much
My
the Dahlia story.
Yeah.
If we could, like, teleport yourself on the day before you started this relationship with John, what would you tell that girl?
Oh God. I don't think I would.
Really?
Because you have to let yourself totally screw up. Especially in our 20s. Like, you have to just torpedo yourself in
Absolutely.
relationships to understand
Absolutely.
who you are and
Yeah.
what you're looking for.
Mhm.
If I had done everything right, I mean, I would have left a year ago and I would have missed a lot. I
Yeah.
would have missed a lot of hell.
Mhm.
I would have missed some like of the darkest moments of my life, but also like some really, really good ones. I went out with someone that I knew was married, which
Mhm.
is like a fundamental taboo for like
Mhm.
99.9% of women and most people.
Yes.
Like, he's attractive.
Mhm.
I told myself I was just experimenting and wanting to something casual, and now I know.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna want something casual.
Yeah, you know yourself better.
Exactly. I would be lying to myself and lying to anyone else if I was like, yeah, let's just like be sex buddies. Let's just keep it casual. I don't even know what that means. I can't even comprehend it now. I just like, because I like this stuff, I like the idea now that I could just like come home to someone and we could...
They could build your furniture. Yeah.
I could try that and be totally naive again and watch it crash and burn.
Dahlia, thank you so much for being on Memory Lane.
Yeah.
I need psychoanalysis.
Thank you for hypnotizing me into telling you all of my bad memories.
That's really what this is. Come on. And then, you know, this file, sending it straight to Scientology.
What does that even say?
I crossed off a lot of it. I believe that you know what that means. Okay, well, Dahlia, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Shalina. How are you? Ooh, watch out. Oh! Oh, be nice, doggy. Goliath. Oh my, oh my! Wow, that's rambunctious.
Stop.
Be nice.
What I kept asking him, like, how... Oh, boy.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Oh, it's okay, I've got you.
He's gonna bite
He
me
just
if I
likes
try to pick
me,
him up.
okay?
Yeah, but he can't just decide that this is what's happening.
Yes, he actually can.
He really can't.
I know you have the pathological need for control.
What's wrong with this one? Got me in the cheek. Okay.
Well, you belong to him and no other
It's gonna have to be a
dog.
lot of editing.
Everything's a lot of editing because I also manipulate it to make it look like people say things I don't.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Like any reporter.
like Fox News.
Yeah.
Well, I learned from the best,
Yeah.
didn't I?